The players had to have a feeling we controlled whether we won or lost. We had a plan. The plan was up on the board. About turnovers, about penalties, about missed assignments. These are all things we control.
We made each other better in practice. Anthony Johnson, one of the great fullback, we would have live cut drills, against the linebackers. But, and he was coming out swinging, man. And if you know AJ, man, he was good. He was a good player, and he made me better. But that happened day after day after day in practice. It was great on game day because Lou made it hard during the week, so it was easy on Saturday.
Here it comes, the ball game on the line. Drop down, kick is up, and it is good! And the Irish take the lead on field goal number 4 by Reggie Ho.
People often ask me, what's the greatest game you played in high school, college, or the NFL? And I always look back to that game and say it's the Miami Notre Dame game.
It was probably, throughout my college and NFL career, probably one of the most intense games that I've ever played in.
We get in the game, and the last thing we did was we punted the ball. After our pregame warm-up, we punted the ball. Well, the minute we lined up to punt, I looked down, Miami's still doing their pre. They come running down. The minute we lined up, they bumped Rocket Ishmael. They ran right through our formation, and that's sort of a disrespectful thing, but so it's no big deal. But it was to the 13 players, not the first team players. The 13 players, they aren't going to play. They're all excited. You end up in a tussle in the tunnel.
One guy went over me, and next thing you know, I'm in the bottom of the pile on the bleachers, and it was just melee with really nothing going on except people were on top of the bleachers, and everybody was wondering when everybody was going to get up to get out of it. So I think a lot more made of it than truly really happened.
I was embarrassed. And so we get in the locker room, I am really mad. And I said it in a very meaningful way. I said, if I see anybody during the course of this football game do anything but class or show disrespect to Notre Dame or anything else, you represent thousands, millions of people. You're not only going to be pulled out of this game, you're never going to play for Notre Dame again. I want to see a class operation. Now, after we win the game, if Miami wants to fight, fine, we'll meet them in the alley. And I didn't plan to say this, but it just came out. And if they do, you say Jimmy Johnson's asked for me. Well, I didn't get anything else. They went out the locker room. I wasn't done. I wanted to get they go storming out the locker room.
When he said leave Jimmy Johnson's, but to him, it was like, hey, we're all fired up.
It was like lighting a match and throwing it on gasoline at that point. And man, it took off.
45 seconds to play. Notre Dame 31, Miami 30, and going for 2.
Dawkins wide to the right, Brown in the slot. Conley, the wingman on the right side. 3 wide receivers right. They're going to go for 2. Back to throw. Walsh, look. Has the time. Lost the ball. The pass is batted down. It's batted down by Terrell. And the Irish, they win it this afternoon. They're out in front 31-30 as Jimmy Johnson went for 2.
When Pat Terrell made that play in that game, was like everybody made that play for that team of 85. I think it was a little redemption for everybody that was a part of that. And when we beat them, it was the biggest win I was part of, and it goes down in history as the biggest game ever won in Notre Dame Stadium.
Back when I made that play, I believe our stadium's, the capacity was about 59,000. But I probably to date have met about 80,000 people that were sitting right in that corner when I made that play. I'm a very positive thinking person, but every once in a while you lay in bed at night and think, man, if I didn't make that play, it'd be kind of a scary place to walk around, but I'm glad it turned out like it did.
White on the option, carrying for the first time to the 40, to the 45, down the sideline, at the 40, at the 30, at the 20. He could go all the way to 10 to 5. Touchdown, Irish.
If you look at that run, just like it was just yesterday. I'm going down the sideline. I have one guy to beat. And I'm just thinking, don't let him catch me. I'm scared of getting hit. Run. So when I did that, and I didn't look behind, but I looked to the right and I saw Mark Green just running up close to me. I was like, whoa, I thought I was fast, but Mark Green is even faster than me.
The pass is intercepted. Picked off by the Irish. It's Magala. Magala to the 30, to the 20. He's down to the 10.
touchdown! Dan Spagnola picks up Rodney Peete and returns it for a score.
We had a great defense. They couldn't get past our defense.
The best thing about that team was that the team was willing to fight for one another. No matter the fact that we came from diverse backgrounds, I would look over here and I would see Tim Grunhart, and he had my back. And I would see Big Dean Brown, Rod West, Pat Eilers, Pat Terrell, George Streeter, Stance Magala, T. Light. I would see Boo Williams, Michael Stonebreaker, Wes Pritchett. I would see these guys, Corny Southall, Tim Ryan. You know, these guys, Andy Heck, Steve Alanis, Mark Green, Braxton Banks, Ricky Waters, Tony Brooks. And so when I looked around the locker room, Reggie Ho, I would see these guys, and literally, it would just bring great peace.
He was a master manipulator in terms of getting our minds right.
If your mind perceives something, the body can achieve it. My obligation, Coach, was to do everything I possibly could to prepare them so that they would not feel any pressure.
The national championship, 1988, Notre Dame versus West Virginia. Major Harris had a major breakdown because our defense took care of him.
I remember it was a tough-fought battle. We came there, we knew what we had to do, and before that game, the night before the game, we watched Patton at the hotel. I'll never forget that. And they're watching that movie before the game. You know what was the interesting thing about that game is the practices leading up to the game. Because I remember we were in the Loftus facility before we went home for Christmas. We had that week of practice, and I remember them pumping in the West Virginia fight song in the Loftus, so much as we couldn't hear each other. And Wes Pritchett was making fun of it. It was hilarious. But we had some knockdown, drag-out practices leading up to the game, the actual game, and you know, it's just the way that we were prepared for the game.
They were playing man-to-man. And I never knew by playing the man-to-man that I would have 7 passes completed out of 11 for 213 yards. And knowing that man-to-man, I couldn't miss that day. Coming back to the campus at the time we won, it didn't really hit in, sink into our heads that we won the national championship. But then, you know, you see how the people, the local people here that lived in town really took it. They were very proud of us, especially the students as well. And you know, it was time to celebrate because we brought the championship back home to you guys. And I want to appreciate all the support you guys given us during the years. And thanks for believing in us, and we did it.